I'm going to be talking about rhythm and how rhythm is your portal into your truth. We're going to be talking about my MOVEbit alchemy method, how it's your portal to get into intuitive space and to hear your signal, the truth of your being, your authenticity, and of course, regulating your nervous system, bringing all that online. My name is Silvie Celiz. I created a method called MOVEbit alchemy. MOVEbit completely has transformed my life. When I became a mom 10 years ago and I started to feel all this fear starting to rise and rise, like I could not hold it back. When you keep it, deep inside of you, you don't even are aware of all that stuff that is like hiding in the storage of your subconscious mind. However, when you have children, and not just when you have children, but for me, it was just brought to the front of my awareness and I could not look away. And as a conscious parent, I realized that I have to alchemize all of this stuff, to work through all of this so that I don't project it to my child. In that journey, because of love, because of my big desire, I started to look into all things on healing your childhood wounds, to overcoming fear. At the same time, I've always had a really gigantic supernatural experience type of life. I've been having supernatural experiences since I was a little girl, and I actually leaned into it. I was very curious about all the stuff that was happening to me. I was lucid dreaming, I was astral traveling, I was seeing beyond what our eyes see. I was seeing vibration, energy, and I had these downloads that would come. I would have these sort of really out there ideas of things that I never learned about, but I just knew this. I kept questioning everything. And from a very young age, I questioned things like, where are we? Like, what is this reality? Who are we? Where did we come from? Why are we here? I would be really aware of that. When I first started to lucid dream and do all these things in my dream reality, like flying and things like that, I started to question, how can I bring this amazing, all possibilities into this sort of limited physical reality? So this is the kind of stuff that is my jam. I learned later that I'm obviously very intuitive. I did magical things with my intuition. When I become a mother, I start to have really next level intense lucid dreams and astral traveling. It was really abrupt, like never before. I started to have such vivid experiences where dream reality starts to bleed into this reality that I was looking for answers of understanding more about intuition. And that's when I ran into Tom Campbell. He wrote the trilogy, My Big Toe. He is a physicist and a consciousness explorer. Through his theory of the big toe theory that he has, the theory of all, through that I realized that the importance of intuition. And I learned through him intuition versus the intellect, how there were these operating systems. When you're a very intuitive person, language is a little bit limited to you because you live in such an abstract reality. It's non-linear, it's holistic, you just download information, you just know things. And so I struggled and I really learned to use language, to put words to my experiences. That was something that I developed, okay? And I wanted to because I wanted to communicate this. Through Tom Campbell's work, I was able to name the things that I was already experiencing. And I realized, and he told me myself, when I told him about my MOVEbit experience, what happens to me, I was like, wait a minute, that's how I drop into intuitive space. And then I learned everything that was available for me in intuitive space. Then I started working in intuitive space intentionally. And when I did that, everything shifted for me. I mean, it was just night and day, understanding what I could do, like my world expanded. I was able to download and channel so much more through my intuitive system because now I understood that that was my gateway. And Tom even said to me when I told him about, this is how I drop in like this into intuition, intuitive space, he said, that's your meditation. That's your meditation. And so when I was learning about what meditation actually is, it's going into an alternate state of consciousness, an alternate state of consciousness. You step into a quantum field, a dimension, a different operating system than what we do with the intellect, right? Which is, the intellect is where we analyze, we plan, we assess, we judge, everybody's favorite. Why? Because we have been indoctrinated through the school system and this everything to constantly be developing our intellect, and we do need it in this reality. Is very important. However, intuition, that's where you actually tap into the core of who you are, into a variety of things, where is your supernatural edge, the home of authenticity, the core of your being comes through that space, the present moment. That's where we drop into the present. And this body takes us into a deeper experience and understanding of ourselves and our experiences that we have in life. So today we're going to talk about rhythm. I resonate with Tom's model of reality that we might be living in a simulation. What is a simulation? It's a training program. It's a digital reality. Digital information is called bit. What we're doing is we are moving, right? We're dancing. And when we dance, what we do is we move information. Because that's all it is. That's what healing is. We channel information. We send information out. We're literally doing this, that. So you are like a receiver. You are receiving and you are putting out a signal. Output, input. Okay, so because of that, MOVEbit, we are moving information. When we get into intuitive space, I'm like in my office and I'm just moving information, moving trauma around, releasing stuff, bringing stuff on, expressing by putting out. That is MOVEbit. What's up? We're gonna talk about rhythm. We're gonna talk about rhythm today. Now you know why it's called MOVEbit. And alchemy, because alchemy is a transformation. Usually you hear about the minerals like lead into gold, but the truth is that what we're turning, what we're alchemizing our frequency. We're alchemizing our frequency. And we do this by releasing and cultivating frequency. Like by just literally alchemizing the frequency. What we're really doing is we're purifying. We're releasing fear, embodying more love. The goal of MOVEbit is to move people out of their mental programming and into truth. This is just one goal. This is what we do in MOVEbit. We go from, when we enter and we practice MOVEbit, we go from fear into flow, from fear into flow. We go from constriction to expression. Constriction to expression. We go from trauma loops to frequency liberation. Frequency liberation. We go from outdated systems to soul-aligned design. Okay? Because most people are living under systems that have been created for them, that people follow, like don't ever question. Does this system work for me? Does it work for my people? Does it work for the world? Does it work for love? Does it work for our souls? So we go from outdated systems to soul-aligned design, because what we want to do is we want to live our soul design, the life that is aligned with our soul. And then we go from stuck in the intellect, or you're stuck in a loop of your mind, the judgment, the judgment, the judgment, the judgment, the judgment, assessment, assessment, the planning, the thinking, the thinking. You go from that to alive in intuitive wholeness, where 20% you can use the intellect for what you need it to do, okay? But you don't live there. You live alive. You get lit. You get lit. Alive in intuitive wholeness, 80%, 80-20, 80-20. Because this is the home of authenticity. Intuition is a home of authenticity. As Tom would say, would be at the being level. It is the core and the essence of who we are. So I like this little thing that I did here. This is my little graph. This is how it goes. I'm giving you a visual. One of the principles in MOVEbit is resonance and coherence. Musical resonance and coherence, because we are music. We are frequency, vibration. We have the symphony within us. And a lot of those instruments are not even being played. They are dormant. So what we want to do is we want to play them, okay? And the way that we bring them back online, that we activate them, is by finding the kind of music and the frequency of the voices, the singers, the beings that create this music, right? Their vocal tones, the instruments that are being put together. Certain songs activate that music within. Certain voices activate that music within. You feel it. It's a feeling, because intuitive space is called the feeling space. It is AKA the feeling space. So when we do a MOVEbit session, which I do it every day, 3 times a day, 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes 5, depends. Maybe I do 1 song, maybe I do 2. So what are you feeling today, you know? And because when you're in intuitive space already, you'll just get the download, like play this song. Okay, so I go and I know already I have my playlists. I've curated. This is a part of getting to know your own frequency. I've curated the songs. So I activate at the moment I hear the songs. The moment I hear that song, that song, my music, it activates my music within me. Scientifically, here's an example where, and I've said this before in another video, when you have a guitar, 2 guitars in the room, and you flick one of the E strings, let's just say, automatically through vibration, the resonance, the E string on the other guitar will begin to oscillate, will begin to vibrate. Okay, it activated it. It activated it. Same thing happens with us. We hear a song and we're like, yeah, that's my jam. That's my jam. That's your jam because it's activating your music within you. Don't you experience some songs that when you just hear them, you just cry? It just makes you cry. There are parts of ourselves that are so deep that need to like be played, and they don't get to be played. So MOVEbit, we drop into rhythm, which drops us into intuitive space. It puts us in a different state of being, in an alternate state. It's almost like we go into a different dimension, okay? We go into intuitive space. Bloom. When we drop into rhythm and we start to remember all the things, feel like ourselves. What do I feel like? We aligned with our truth. We aligned with truth. We align with truth. This is why this is called the Silvie Celiz truth. This is my frequency I'm sharing with you. So intuitive space. Once we're in intuitive space, we get to have access to our soul, to our signal, and to all the things that I just erased on the board. But today we're going to talk about rhythm. Let's talk about rhythm. Okay, so the very first access point is dance, music. Rhythm is primal, universal, and precedes thought. So when you begin to move, MOVEbit, before analyzing anything, you are tuning into the ancient pulse that lives in your bones and your cells. So your body becomes the antenna. It becomes the antenna. Now, Intention is fundamental in this reality. Intention moves information. Intention moves information. Not only do we get to focus our intent, like it's the most powerful in intuitive space, but also when you're coming into this practice with intention, intentionally, with intention, you are opening yourself to focus your intent into whatever it is that you're gonna do. This is what we do every morning with my son. The first thing that we do is we MOVEbit, after we have our lime waters, of course. We MOVEbit because we wanna tune into our rhythm. We wanna feel what our rhythm is like at that, our tempo. Like, am I feeling, what is my rhythm at? Am I feeling like super slow and internal? Am I feeling like, dun, 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 dun? Am I feeling fire? Am I feeling like a fast song? Is it moving at a fast rate? Is that what I'm being led into? Is that how I'm feeling? So you get to tune in to your rhythm. And through your rhythm, once you're in alignment with your rhythm, you're gonna start to open up and create this frequency, this container where you begin to listen and download your signal. You begin to hear your signal. You begin to hear your signal. And your signal is that most important nudge your soul is leading you into. Like, it's leading you into, like, this is the thing. This is the thing we gotta do now. Because consciousness, true self, has that bigger picture. And so it can lead you into your design, into your mission, into your purpose, into what you're here to do, which we're all here to learn and to grow. Okay, but we also have a particular little storyline that we came here to live, that we designed ourselves, and narratives, and we could also change it and rewrite it, the script. So through rhythm, we create the frequency, the space where we clear the noise, right? And our bodies, oh my gosh, I love our bodies because our bodies are these powerful interfaces that allow us not just tune in to the truth of who we are, but descend it into here, and then we walk as that. We walk as that. And we get to, because we're here, we're not like out in the non-physical reality. We are here, well, except for when we go into dream time, which is my other office, which is another thing we'll talk about some other time, which I love. But that's 8 hours of the night. That's a whole other bag of tricks we'll talk about. But here we are, all these hours of the day, every day. We're here in this physical reality. So we need to embody, reach. I always go reach like as if it's out here. It's not out there, it's like everywhere. But it's just a metaphor. We have to reach into that frequency of our soul, of our spirit, consciousness, and bring it descend it into this body and walk as. That is authenticity. Authenticity. Rhythm is everywhere. Rhythm is within us. Rhythm is in the ebbs and the flows. Rhythm is in the way that we're walking. Rhythm is in the beat of our hearts. Rhythm is in the breath that we take. Rhythm is everywhere. So the earth has its own rhythm. We align ourselves with the earth, align ourselves with ourselves. It is a whole integration. One of the most amazing things about rhythm, and most important things about rhythm, is that rhythm regulates your nervous system. The first thing that came when you were in your mother's womb was her heartbeat. That's all you knew, you heard. And get this, it shaped your nervous system, your breath, your pulse. Rhythm is not just movement, it's how you find your stability, your harmony, like inner harmony. It's how you find your safety, how you feel safe. You feel safe in that rhythm. This is how powerful rhythm is. I mean, So rhythm regulates your entire system, your entire nervous system, and it tunes you into the truth, your truth. So I know you always hear in my videos, I say, returning to myself, returning to myself. So through rhythm, yeah, through that safety, that harmony, all of that, through that pulse, it returns you to that safety, to that stability, to that harmony within. It tunes you into that. You feel it. All of a sudden, you feel like you can let your guards down. You feel safe to express. You feel safe to feel everything. That's rhythm. That's rhythm. Isn't that amazing? So you return from chaos, from anxiety. You return. You just return into safety, into presence, into peace, into harmony, into safety. You return, you return, you return. And this is what we do every day, is we return and we return and we return, because we've got so much programming and conditioning from the system to overcome, that disconnects us. All the tech, everything. So we have to be so conscious and committed to returning to ourselves, And for me, MOVEbit has been the practice to come home to. The practice that drops me in a second. It drops me into rhythm in a second. But it has to be, it can't just be any song, because that's not what's dropping you. What's dropping you is hitting that note that you have within you. The notes that you've got within you. It's like bling on. You come back online. You awaken. You awaken. It's like and then boom. What was that? Like it just woke you up. It just brought you back online. So it is a key. It's key. What music you curate for yourself. And you're gonna know, this is a practice in self-discovery, getting to know yourself. What are those notes that you've got going on inside? And what will tell you is the reflection of what you're like, what's lighting you up, what music is just completely bringing you online. There's some songs that I'm just like, yeah, I'm not feeling that at all. It's just like, doesn't do it for me. But it does it to someone else. It does it for someone else. It acted because that's the music they've got inside of them. They've got their own rhythm. And so that's a key. For me, for a while, has been Stray Kids music. The tones of their voices, the frequency, they just activate me like no other. It's just such a huge activation. But I have two playlists. One is my Feeling Extra playlist, which is, I have mostly Stray Kids. And then my other playlist is Feeling Deeper, which is a more introspective, where I'm just like, it's more sensual. It's, it's more women's voices and a very sultry, smooth, sensual tone, and it activates a different part of me that is just like a lot more flow. The other one is just like a lot more staccato and more on the choppy, more on the pop lock, pop pin. And I love both, and that's my range. It's not one or the other. We have a bandwidth of colors, of tones, of feelings, and it's just, you get to know yourself at such deep level. I just love MOVEbit. You don't have to be a good dancer, because we're not talking really about performing. We are talking about expression. We're talking about tapping into what is making you move and feel. So when you're in rhythm, you are not following a step. You're not following a choreography. You're not following what somebody's telling you to do. When you're in your rhythm, you are connecting to your own music. You're connecting to your own rhythm. How do you want to move? How Do you want to feel what is there for you? You are entering a trance-like state. A trance-like state where you bypass your programming and you enter truth. Note to self, rhythm is not what you listen to. Rhythm is what you become. Rhythm is what you become. So it's now, you can listen to something, but it's not the listening of something. It's the becoming. It's the becoming of something. It's what you get to become, okay? Because you are music, you are frequency, you are vibration. Again, you are music, you are music, you are music. You are music. Everybody has their own distinctive rhythm, their code, and their original design. So what we want to do is we want to learn what that is for ours. Everybody has their own. So the more that you MOVEbit, the more that you do this whole system, you begin to marinate in your own frequency, in your own sauce. You begin to learn so much about the truth of what's within you. When you move in rhythm, in your rhythm, your truth becomes embodied frequency. Embodied frequency. When I say embodied frequency, means that you are not thinking or acting of who you need to be, who you should be in order to get accepted or validation or feel good about yourself. What you're doing is you are being yourself. You're being yourself and you feel good about that. Like you don't need anyone to like it. I tell my son all the time, I say, I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be liked and neither are you. Nobody's here to be liked. We're here to be ourselves. We're here to express, to experience the fullness of ourselves. Like it is, again, it's delicious. It feels delicious. It's like to be in your own essence, in your own frequency, to feel all of you. It just feels so good. It feels so good. It doesn't matter whether anybody likes it. I like it. I feel good. I like it. That's the way, I like it. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So whatever it is that you do and you want to do, it's cool because you're following your design. You are in your rhythm, in your frequency, and there, you stamped it. End of story. You stamped it, you validated it, it's yours, that's it. That's sovereignty. That is total sovereignty and ownership of your being. Summary. Here we go for a rhythm summary. Rhythm is a regulator for the nervous system. Rhythm is a portal into intuitive space. Rhythm is an activator of your embodied frequency. Rhythm, when you drop into it, you remember and align with your truth. You remember who you are. When you drop into rhythm, you remember who you are. I hope this served you. My intention is for you to return to your truth, to your rhythm, to access the truth of who you are, your soul. Bring it into your body. Use your body, love your body for all of the reasons of empowerment, spiritual empowerment, of joy, of love, of peace, of harmony. And that you bring that nervous system regulation, that grounding, that stability, that safety for yourself so that we can also provide that for others, for our children, for the people that are around us, because it's all frequency, it's all frequency, it's all rhythm, it's all vibration. It's all vibration. The more that we are able to raise that frequency into a joy frequency, into a peace frequency, into harmony and stability and safety, the more we put out and project that into reality, the more that we're going to vote. We are voting for that reality to exist. We are voting for that reality with our own frequency. So important, so amazing, and so beautiful. I think beautiful is 예뻐라. 예뻐라. You all know I'm learning Korean. As like I'm determined. So little by little, step by step, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I mean, I really enjoy it, you guys. Like, I really love the sound, the melody. My favorite is Korean rap. Like, anytime any of those guys rap, or girls, but mostly I like the frequency of the guys rapping. I don't know why, but I do. I love it. I love it. 좋아요. It activates my, it's just like, it's all over my being. Everywhere. All right, now we're gonna go into MOVEbit sesh. I'm gonna share a MOVEbit session with you, which I always do at the end of my videos, because it is language that is felt. It is a frequency transmission that I'm doing. It is an activation. As you are watching, I am speaking to you on a deep, deep, deep consciousness level. That's why they're called soul transmissions, because I'm transmitting a frequency to you. As I am being embodied myself, it awakens those who are meant to be awakened by that. Just like when I listen to certain music awakens me, a painting can do that for you. A tree, a scenery, like a bunch of things can do that to you, activate you at a deep level. It's a remembrance. Remember, it's a remembrance of your soul, of your spirit. So get excited. Remember to subscribe and share it with the people that need to hear this, with anybody that you think might really benefit from this information. So enjoy.
I'd rather be a rock, don't let me know me. Rock. I don't know, I'm upset. 확실한 답은 어디에 있을까? 답답해 또다시 나는 turning back. So 차라리 이렇게 물음표 가득한 세상에 살기보다 자기 자신을 확실히 아는 놀이 더 나은 듯해. 꼭꼭 숨어라 에이 머리카락 골라 멜도 같아 또 나를 찾아가 yeah 고민 또 소리 소문 없이 꼬리만 쫓아가다 보면 허탕치고 다시 나 자신의 힌트를 찾지 지질이 재미없고 짜증 유발하는 넌데 답답해서 알고 싶어 또 반복하지 all day 뻔뻔해 또 뻔뻔해 난 또 비틀거려 I'd rather be rock, don't let me know me. Boy, rock. La 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 la. 어설플 바에 나라는 게 낫지. La 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 la. 어설플 바에 boy, rock. 무의식의 상태 차라리 그게 나을 수도 있을 것만 같아 생각하는 인간에게 과분한 존재일 수도 내 자아의 정신은 근심 걱정 혼란 속에 연이어 둥돌려 아무것도 모르는데 불이 지나기 전 그대로 돌아가는 것은 어떨까 마치 지금보다는 날 듯해 아무것도 안 할래 현실은 불가능해 그래 꿈이나 꿀래 그래 그냥 잠이나 잘래 지질이 재미없고 짜증 유발하는 넌데 답답해서 알고 싶어 또 반복하지 all day 뻔뻔해 또 뻔뻔해 난 또 비틀거려 I'd rather be La 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 어설플 바에 나는